Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Therapy Talk, where we talk about all things mental health. My name is Lloyd Fidere, and I'm a psychotherapist here in New York City. I'm also the owner of a group private practice called Blue Harbor Psychotherapy. First of all, if you are new to the channel, welcome. Please make sure to hit that subscribe button, and also please make sure to hit the bell button so you know when there's a new video up in my channel. Also, please don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up, a big like. Alright, so in today's video, I'll have the wonderful opportunity and honor of chatting and getting to know a wonderful human being who is located across the pond, across the Atlantic Ocean, because he's in England. And I'll have the opportunity to get to know him and his mental health journey. This is all part of my series called Faces of Mental Health, where I feature and talk to individuals who are, who have a mental health illness, struggling with a mental health issue, and get to know, their mental health journey, including how they're dealing with their mental health issue, how are they surviving, or I should say how they are thriving, and also individuals who have been affected by other people's mental health. So today I'll be speaking with Jay and get to know more about his life, his story, and his mental health journey. So here is my interview with Jay. And joining us now from England is Jay. Hey Jay, thanks for joining us here in Therapy Talk. How are you doing?
Hi, thanks for having us. I'm doing fine. Thank you very much.
So why don't you tell us a little bit more about yourself?
So my name is Jay. I'm from the northeast of England. I'm currently an ophthalmology auxiliary nurse. So I basically help treat people with eye diseases and eye problems. I mainly work in cataract surgery. So I'm usually in the operating theatre with the doctor and a scrub nurse, and we're carrying out cataract day cases to help improve people's visions. I do a number of different things in the hospital, such as macular, glaucoma, retinal detachment and stuff. And it sort of just all depends on where I am through that day and stuff. And I'm looking to sort of progress in my career and become maybe a paramedic. So that'll be a massive change from my floor nurse work to then do a paramedic. So I'm doing the online training at the moment as much as I can, but with everything on hold, it's sort of just continuing at the hospital while there's nothing else really to do.
All right. Well, on behalf of everyone, thank you, our frontline and healthcare workers. Thanks for everything you're doing, especially during this time of COVID. I know you guys have been in the front lines of taking care of everyone. So big thanks to you.
Thank you. Yeah.
I know we spoke, before getting to know each other, and you mentioned about struggling with mental health growing up. So yeah, tell us, how did it all start for you?
It's sort of just, I think it just started with me as a normal kid trying to be a bit older than I was. I was only probably 12, 13 around the time, and I kept trying to be more mature and more older than I was and not treated as a kid. Like my biggest hatred is when I feel like a kid. So like even like now at like 21, like an adult will tell, like if I make a mistake at the hospital or something and my manager gives us like a stern word or something, I feel like just like a kid who's like getting like a slap on the wrist, and it really does me head in. So I think when I was a kid, it really played with me. So I did try and be a little bit older than I was and maybe do things that a child really shouldn't do. Relationships at that age I was heavily involved in, and like kind of they didn't end well, and because you're a kid and you don't really understand them, and a lot of things get messed up or go wrong, and so it really then affected us, and just the outcome of the negativity from being in old mature relationships at such a young age sort of like had a lasting effect on us. And like I kind of feel like I missed out on my childhood like a little bit because I was so just heavily involved in, oh no, well, my grandparents and my uncles and all the adults got together with their partners when they were 16. I'm coming up to that age, so maybe I should also now be trying to find someone. So I was always trying to be someone else and go off other people's sort of like timelines and like time phrases of what they did at certain points in their life. But then I wasn't being a kid. I didn't allow myself to be young and stupid and free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And from what you can remember, At what point did you start noticing that, you know what, something's not right, something's off?
It probably around the age of 15 and stuff. Like, it really, I didn't understand sort of mental health issues and disorders. It was all very new, and
Hmm.
I just didn't feel right, and I felt upset. And I just remember like passing out one day because I was self-harming really bad. I had cuts all down both arms, down my legs and thighs, on my stomach. Um,
Hmm.
I had bruises on my head from when I was just like banging my head against the wall and stuff. And I think after sort of taking a step back almost, and someone noticing and making me sort of see it from outside of my own eyes, I sort of realized, I was like, yo, this this isn't right.
Yeah. But you know, during that time, what led you to self-harm, and what did self-harm do for you?
um, it was sort of just a lot of bullying. Like, I was a bit of a, I wouldn't even say a weird kid. I probably just like a normal kid. Like, not kids nowadays, a lot of them just, make stupid videos online and play video games with friends. And that's exactly what I did. I played, your Minecraft, your Xbox, your PC games, and I just used to film me and my friends playing them, or I'd film us like out in the woods and stuff, or on sleepovers, I'd film us randomly, doing tricks in the garden on the trampoline. And so, like, I think a lot of people, like, that was quite new still, I think, because of course it was 2012. So it was just like as YouTube and all that really started like kicking up. So I did get like quite bullied and that, because of course when you put yourself out there online, like, you make yourself vulnerable.
Oh
And
yeah, for sure.
as a young kid who sort of didn't know anything to do with posting online, and especially the sort of how online had no restrictions or guidelines back then, like no one was watching it to sort of censor it. I was like a prime target to just sort of get attacked and bullied. So I did used to get bullied by a lot of people in my secondary school. Um, and that went from like just normal online cyberbullying to then like verbal and then physical abuse when I came in school.
Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. You said physical abuse. Is that what you said?
Yeah, yeah, it led to physical
Yeah.
abuse as well.
From the kid, from the other kids?
Mhm.
Okay. All right. And then, so the self-harm that you described, you were saying like cutting, was it your finger or your wrist
Yeah,
or?
no, so yeah, it was my wrists and my arms. It went all like, it just went all up. I was covered in scars because to me it just felt like everyone else is hurting me. Everyone else is causing me pain. So I might deserve it. I felt like I deserved to be hurt. I deserved to feel pain. So I would inflict it on myself,
Mhm.
hoping that it would then make me feel better.
Okay.
Be sort of, oh well, everyone else is doing it to me, so I should do it to me as well. And I just felt so low, and it just didn't feel like there was anything else to do. I don't know how I got into it, but it it's weird. It just, I don't know. I really don't actually know how like you get into it, but it just, for something clicked one day, and I was just like, I have this just urge to then just hurt myself to make me feel somewhat better.
Yeah. Yeah. And you know what? And I hear this a lot from some of my other clients, that self-harming is actually a way. It doesn't make sense for some, but it's like it actually helps someone feel better.
Hmm.
It also makes them feel, because sometimes when someone is going through a lot of stressful things, they feel numb. So by doing something like a cutting, it makes them feel something, which also in turn makes them feel better. So I can definitely, I hear what you're saying, and I definitely understand that. And first of all, I just want to say I'm so sorry that you went through that. That was a hard time of your life. I'm sure, and to then having to resort to hurting yourself. Did you at that time, was anyone aware of what was happening and tried to help or intervene?
Um, at that point, I think at that young age, no one really knew sort of what it really was. It's maybe, I think one or two people might have knew. I might have mentioned it, but you just sort of if you hear something you don't like, just ignore it. So I imagine that's what they did. They just sort of like, oh, it's I'm not taking part in this. I'm not involved, and they didn't have to worry about it. There did come a point where I told my parents and that and family, and there was a lot of tears. But from there, we got some support in that, and I went into therapy and counseling and all that. So
Mm-hmm.
it was then good sort of telling. So I mean, as much as it was emotional, it was horrible. Especially because I still look back now and feel really guilty on my parents that I put them through that. But it was nice because I'd like to think I'm somewhat normal now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And how was it for you to finally be able to tell your parents and then to finally receive help?
It was good to not have to hide it because, of course, I just kept wearing sleeve. I never wear long sleeve shirts or anything, but I would always then sort of keep myself covered. So it was kind of nice to then not have to hide a bit and then sort of be able to be a little bit more open.
Mm-hmm.
Um, again, the therapy initially, like I think I was there for about 2 years. And that was good. Like the first time I went was really beneficial in that, and it really helped with a lot of issues in that. Every now and then, I'd kind of sort of relapse and go back. To some extent, some of the times I went back, it didn't work. Whether that be because the mindset I was in or the kind of therapy I was getting wasn't the right one. But I've sort of persisted on working with myself and listening and trying to adapt to the different therapists I've had and stuff. And I think in the long run, it's worked quite well.
Yeah. Now, did you, aside from therapy, was there anything else that was given to you as a way to support or help you, like medications or any kind of different interventions?
I was prescribed some medication for depression, for anxiety and insomnia.
How old were
Um,
you then?
I would have been 15 on the medication. So I've only taken the medication. I've only been prescribed medication for when I was 15 to about 16, coming up 17.
Okay.
And then since then, I really didn't want to be very dependent on medication and stuff. So I came off them. Around a similar time, I got my first job working at Rain Arena. It's just a glass collector.
Okay.
Because I had insomnia and I wasn't really sleeping, I did a lot of late shifts and night shifts, which technically was illegal.
Oh, because of your age?
Yeah, because of my age and stuff. But I think there was a weird leeway in like the rules of the place and stuff that I managed to get through. But I use that as like a sort of therapy because now I'm getting paid to be awake. Like now I've got this mental disorder where I'm not able to sleep, but I'm no longer taking any medication to try and put me to sleep. I'm working, I'm earning money, I'm getting skills, I'm meeting new people. So it was really beneficial for me, and that sort of then became my medicine. That then became sort of my drug.
Mm-hmm. You're focused on something. You're present in whatever you're doing, and you're being productive. And at the same time, you're meeting people, and it feels good to be contributing to something, which in this case is the job that you were doing. How was you mentioned about your parents? How was your family during this time?
Um, they're all very. It's not. We're a very close family anyway. We all live. I mean, we all live together at that point. Me, two sisters, me mum and dad. 5 houses up the road is me nan and granddad. 10 houses along the road is me aunt and uncle. So like as a family unit, we're all basically in the same state. So it's really nice. We're a really close family. But I'd want to think that it's because we're close that we all are very close. But I feel like I maybe get like a bit of extra treatment and messages even today from my sisters or from my mum and dad just to make sure I'm okay and checking up on us. I kind of feel like they were very supportive. My mom really didn't take it too well, and she still worries massively about us. Like if I'm not in the house, she can't sleep because
Okay.
she'll worry about us. My dad, he's very like security oriented anyway, so he's always checking up on us. He's checking up on my sisters as well. But like I said, I still feel like I get maybe a little bit more because I'm clearly not mentally as sound. But
Hmm.
because of, I think, all of my sort of experiences, and then doing stuff like this where I am very open and very vocal about like how I feel and my emotions and stuff, it's helped sort of my dad and my two sisters sort of open up a lot more.
Hmm.
I think my mom does hold a lot together, but she easily breaks. So it's not long she holds it on before she sort of like tells us how like she feels and that. So I feel like it has emotionally managed to sort of bring us all together, and we're all a lot more honest about all of our feelings and emotions when we're down and stuff.
Yeah, well, I'm happy to hear that. Family indeed is these are some of the challenges that some families do face. Is just an understanding of what mental health is, and also then understanding how this affects and how they can support, loved ones, family members who are going through that. So I'm happy to hear that, especially at this point that you do have that support from them. Was there a point where they're like, I don't know what this is. I don't know how to help Jay. Did that ever happen?
Yeah, because I was still quite secretive. Especially the first time I got counseling, I was very, very secretive. Like whatever was said in that session, I think it was because I didn't really understand. Like when the therapist goes, like everything's confidential here between me and you, I wouldn't tell my mom and dad what was said.
Hmm.
Um, because maybe I think because I thought like confidentiality, I couldn't tell them. But no, I was very secretive. Like my dad would always like he would say like he wants to help, he wants to know what was said in the thing. He wanted to speak to the therapist. And I was like, you can't do that because confidentiality. But I feel like he really wanted to know and got sort of very upset that I wouldn't tell him what was said in these sessions for the 2 years. But the following times I went, when I was 18, I went back. When I was 20, I went back. Them times I've always been open. I was just like, oh, we talked about this, and I said this, and this, and we came to the realization that this, and this. So I've been a lot more open and honest about what has been discussed within the sessions and the talks and stuff. But yeah, I feel like I was very secretive, and it wound him up a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. How has been your life from that job, the time that you had that job until now? How would you describe your journey?
It's been good. Where I am now is fantastic with what I'm doing and where I'm going, and sort of the opportunities I've got. It's great, but um, it's been like doing the 100-meter hurdles. It's like it's an easy race to do, but there's always like an obstacle that's in my sort of way, and it's to manage to sort of jump over it, get past it and stuff. So there's been challenges and times, and I've hit sort of like walls and stuff where I've had to stop or slow down and sort of like take a step back, reevaluate and stuff. So, it's been a constant struggle to sort of work on myself, to understand myself a lot more. And then sort of just come into the sort of realization of who am I and what I want to do in life. And that then was like sort of my big journey of last year. And I'm still sort of going through it now, but I feel like I'm a lot more certain on the person who I am and the sort of the goals and desires that I want in life to be happy. So I feel like I'm a lot happier now because now I know them. I'll admit that I'm not fully there yet, but
Mhm.
I'm working towards it. But now I actually know where I'm going rather than just walking in the dark as I have been for the past few years.
Yeah. What do you think has been the biggest help, or been the most helpful for you in terms of finding yourself, understanding who you are, identifying your goals? What's been the most helpful for you?
Oh, there's so many factors. It's just I think there's not really like a big specific one. I think it's just been sort of it's like when you sort of chisel something, like you just take constant like little nicks and crannies and like you just chip away at something, and then all of a sudden like a big boulder falls off it and it's like, yes, there it is. So
Mm.
like it's upsetting because my granddad died in June of 2020. So
Oh, sorry to hear
almost a year ago, and I went back in therapy for that. Had another episode, and I had suicidal thoughts, but I knew I wasn't going to act on them, but I could feel them all coming back and stuff. And I think from from that moment and speaking to that therapist and counselor, and especially after the first 6 months of the year, like I said, that year was meant to be sort of me becoming happy and sort of living my life for me instead of other people's. So I feel like that tragic event then really like gives a kick up the butt to say like, yeah, I'm certain that this is who I am now, like, and this is where I want to go and this is what I want to do. So probably that. I'm very good at making really negative and bad situations into something positive. I always try and think of the best of every situation, so I never let it take us back. So of course that is it's probably the worst moment of my life.
Yeah.
The top of all my suicide attempts or mental health issues, that was the worst moment for me. So I think that was then an important one to make a positive. And I found it in the sense of I loved my granddad. I looked up to him. I always wanted to be like him. So
Mm.
now I need to continue in that path of making me happy to make him proud. And then because of that, I found who I was.
Yeah. Now you mentioned about the suicide attempts. Um, are you comfortable saying like what kind of attempt did you make?
Oh yeah. I'm an open book. Yeah,
Okay.
I've got no issue at all. No, yeah. So it was. Oh, how old was I? I think most of them would have been 15. Um, I have tried jumping in. I tried jumping in front of a car on numerous occasions,
Okay.
um, and some possible like sort of running away. And the last one that I remember having, I was 18, and I was there's like a really nice beach front, and this again turning a negative into a positive. There's a lovely beach on my beach. There's a lovely Italian cafe, and it overhangs this like cliff edge,
Hmm.
and you can sit on you can go to the roof and like you can just watch the sea out. So I was on the edge. I climbed up the wall. I sat on the edge, and then when you look down, it's just all the rocks and the water and stuff. And so when I was 18, I went there, and I was like, "This is it. Like I am going." And one of my friends, I had my locations on my phone. One of my friends had driven furiously down. Her name's Ellie Atkinson. She doesn't mind us naming her. And so she like sort of grabbed us back and sort of helped us. She just sat with us and she talked to us and she was really supportive. And then like she was supportive for the weeks prior before I had that sort of like collapse. And then she was very supportive the weeks after. And I owe her my life for now. But I always go back to that spot just to sort of sit and reflect because now that is like my happy spot. If I'm ever upset, I'll go there.
Hmm.
Not to ever jump anymore, but to sort of sit there and compose myself. So again, turning something negative, which was this was the place I was attempting to commit suicide, is now like my spot where I meditate.
Yeah. I mean, isn't that great that you were able to turn a negative experience to something positive that's actually helping you now? It's to go back to that spot and use that space and time as a positive, as a positive thing. I mean, that's great. For some people, that's going to a spot, going to a spot like that is can be triggering because something happened there. But
Mhm.
for you,
Yeah,
you,
that's why I've never wanted to live like I know there's a lot of triggers and stuff, and there's one which I know sets me up sort of all the time. But I don't want to live with regrets or drama or just with I just want an easy life. And so like if I know there's like someone who I've got like a bit of beef with, or if there's a place that is upsetting, I will do whatever I can to make peace with myself and with it or with them or with whatever. And so that place again was another area that spot was just a place I needed to make peace with. So that I didn't, every time I drove by it, because it's my local beach, we go there all the time. So I wanted to be able to drive by and be like, you know what, I'm not gonna like collapse and I'm not gonna struggle when I go. I'm gonna be able to go there and be like, yep, that's a spot, and I'm gonna be open if I need to about what that spot means.
yeah,
But if if not, I can just walk by and that can be just a random spot.
yeah. But I think that shows a lot of strength in you that you were able to make peace, with that experience. I know, Jay, you have a YouTube channel,
Yes.
and I've seen your videos, and I've seen a lot of videos on physical exercise, uh, just talking to people, family. Um, I think some music too, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, there's a few videos of music. Yeah.
Yeah, and I remember this video that you made about 2020. Um, how much of your is your YouTube channel about, helping you get through hard times?
Recently, quite recently, like a lot now. Like I just started it as sort of a way to upload family videos for my family who live in like Tenerife and Spain and down the bottom end of my country and stuff. So it was always a nice way to sort of post all of our family parties and stuff so we could stream it on the TV because you go on the YouTube app and flick it to the smart TV. So it
Yeah.
was always just easy to do that instead of plugging in all the cameras or burning it to CDs and stuff. So that was what it started off. And then I sort of just used it as a portfolio for my work. But then all my work, because of my experiences, have always been sort of about mental health and promoting mental health. I have done client work, which again has went on there. So um, last year was meant to be, without COVID, it was just going to be a year-long documentary on me finding myself, becoming better mentally and physically. And so that's what the documentary sort of video that you were referring to was. It was all just a journey. It was me improving, my cooking skills, my
Mm.
eating habits, my diet, my physical exercise and stuff. I did weekly sort of updates on Gymshark, very big company. They do a 66-day challenge at the beginning of every year. So I do weekly videos saying like this is what the challenge was, this is what physical or strenuous activity I've done to beat that challenge, and then that betters myself. So a lot of it, like recently, with sort of like the talk we're doing now, I run very similar ones in the UK. I did one the other day, and it was sort of it was a way for me to listen to other people, to learn from them, to maybe incorporate some of their values and beliefs in life into my own.
Mhm.
Way for me to then get myself out there a bit more. The talks and the podcast I do is all about self betterment. It's all about how people have came from mental or physical troubles and bettered themselves doing whatever they have. So then it gives me sort of like ideas as well. I guess whoever listens, it gives them like the hope or the entertaining listen. But for me, just sort of to sit there and meet someone and build that sort of rapport and relationship with them, to then learn how they've coped, is then something maybe I could consider. And so a lot of the YouTube, especially nowadays, is heavily focused on sort of my journey and sort of mental health and self betterment and that. And
I'm happy to hear that you've been able to use YouTube as a way to not just, explore your creative side, but
mm,
also to get the word out there, to educate people, to promote positivity. And by the way, for those watching this video, I will link Jay's YouTube channel down in the description section. I highly, highly recommend that you guys check it out. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to subscribe to his channel. And also don't forget to hit the subscribe button on this channel as well. So, Jay, overall, how would you describe Jay now?
um, I would describe me now as on a journey. I um I'm who I want to be at this stage. It's not who I want to be in the indefinite future, in the short term future. I still want to have little bits that I want to sort of refine and tweak about myself. But I am a lot better than the person I was.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm happy and content with that. I'm aware of, it's not about, people always say it's not about the destination, it's the journey. And that's somewhat true in this sense. It's like I know I'm not at the ideal goal yet, but I'm not gonna sit and cry about it because I know at the moment I'm very happy with myself and where I am with what I've come through and learned.
Yeah, and you're right. It's really a journey, and I think all of us are still in a journey. And I'm happy to hear that this journey has taken you to a lot of different places, not just physically, but emotionally, and mentally.
Yeah.
And you've done a lot of work to be where you are now, and that you'll continue to work towards
Mm.
too. So I'm happy and proud of you for everything you went through. Now, Jay, what would you say to everyone that's, that will be watching this video, teens that probably was in the same boat as you were back then, getting bullied, thinking about, you know, maybe harming themselves or just feeling depressed, or just for anyone who's going through, mental health issues. What would you like to say to them?
I'd like to say, I mean, there's no, as harsh as I want to be harsh, and I want to say there is no end to it.
Okay.
Like from this point, you're going to constantly be reminded of this. This is now going to be a solid memory in your banks. You can learn to live with it, you can learn to cope with it, you can overcome many things, but you'll always be reminded. You might forget about a lot of your past, but there will always be something that reminds you. What is important is how you react to it. You can overcome it and not let it consume you, control you. There is always people who can help if you reach out and talk. It's always a constant battle with yourself, and with people. We don't like iOS's, MacBooks, Apple, all the updates, they're constantly updating. Like people, we update as well. Every year you learn new things. Every day you have new experiences. You use them to refine yourself daily. The moment you stop learning is then the moment you die. From the point you stop learning anything is then the moment that you shouldn't, you're no longer living, because you learn something every day, and every day you're becoming someone new, you're becoming someone better. And it's the importance of taking what you've learned from that day and what you've been through to be better, not for anyone else other than yourself. Every mindset you're in, every position, as hard as it is to get out and to change, it is possible to get out and get changed. Social media, especially with social media, I highly recommend social media cleanses. I've recently just done it in the
Yes.
past weeks. I went through Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. I've removed everyone who brings me some negativity, everyone who I just know is not good for my mental health, anyone who I know puts me down. Surround yourself with people who don't judge you. They might not share the same opinion, but they're not going to put you down for it. There's people, I'm training to be a boxer, and people will put me down for it. So get rid of them. There's people who will tell me like, I don't think you can do it, or they might not believe that I'm going to win. I'm going to then use that to motivate myself into winning my fight, into training harder than I have before. They're good people to have around. Other people who are very supportive are great to have around, but you need a good balance of people who do support you and people who are wary or who will sort of pin you down. You don't want to be overconfident, so you need someone to sort of reel you in, keep you realistic, but you don't want someone like my old friend group used to be, where they just put you down.
Mm.
They belittle you on everything you do. You don't need that kind of negativity. So especially with social media, stop following all the celebrities, all the influencers, all the models.
Mm.
Get rid
Yeah.
of them. Keep your friends. Keep who you like. Keep the pages and the posts and the followers who better you and better yourself. If it upsets you, why upset? You can easily just unfollow them,
True.
and
Yeah.
voila, then you won't be upset every time you see the post. If Kendall Jenner is posting a new slim bikini picture and you're doubting how good you look, it's ridiculous. Like, get rid of Kendall Jenner. Like, you will look amazing no matter what size, what
Mm-hmm.
hair color, what eyes. You will be beautiful to someone, and you need to learn to be beautiful in yourself. So get rid of that negativity and then start your path of self-love.
I love that. I mean, I think these are all wonderful messages. And the whole update thing on the iOS Mac, I think I'm gonna start using that.
I'll
Yeah,
let you use that one. Yeah.
I'm gonna use that. If that's okay with you, I'm gonna start using that with
Yeah, you
my
can
own
use it.
clients. I think it's a great metaphor. There's always gonna be updates in our lives, and that's how we get better, is by doing an update, right? So I think those are just wonderful, wonderful messages. Jay, I'm happy for you. to
Thank
where you
you.
are now. I'm proud of you and all the work you've done. And yeah, it's really a pleasure to have you at Therapy Talk. So thanks again for being part of this video.
No, I appreciate it. Thanks for inviting us down. It's been a blast. I love doing stuff like this. It's great. So thanks for giving us the opportunity.
My pleasure. Maybe I'll have you in a future video
Definitely.
someday. And for those who are watching, as I said, I'm gonna link um, Jay's YouTube channel in the description section. Please check out his channel. A lot of good content, and don't forget to give his video a big like and also subscribe to his channel. Jay, again, a pleasure. Thanks for being part of this video, and thanks again. And I hope you have a great weekend.
Thank you. You too, my friend. Appreciate it.
My pleasure. Take care.
You too.
Once again, a big thanks to Jay for taking the time and sharing his mental health journey with us. Jay, thanks so much again, and I definitely learned a lot from you, and I hope all of you learn a lot from Jay's story. Jay, keep up the good work, all right? You're doing great. And if you know anyone who would like to chat with me and share your mental health journey and be featured in my channel, you can let me know by putting a comment down in the comment section. You can also send me an email, lloyd@blueharborpsychotherapy.com. And for everyone else, if you have any questions or any feedback, please put them down in the comment section or send me an email. You can also check out our website, blueharborpsychotherapy.com. All right, and before I leave, again, reminder, please make sure to subscribe to my channel. And also, please make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, all right, a big like. And also, please feel free to share this video to all your friends and family, because I'm sure all of us can learn a lot from Jay's story. Right, so that's it for today's video. Thanks so much for watching. And as I always say at the end of all my videos, I want to wish all of you to have a happy mental health day. Take care, and I will see you next time. Bye.